So now we're listening to this and just like hiding under the sheets from a monster. Now bad sounds can't get me.
Welcome back, party people, to another edition of The First Cut, an episodic journey through the sonic underground of today. Now put the kids down for a nap, open up a bottle of the good stuff, and sit tight, cause it's about to get weird.
Seriously, this is not for kids. You've been properly warned.
Hello, party people of the world. You're back with Danny and Evan. It's been kind of a minute. We've had some weird happenings going on and some corrupted files. So unfortunately, we've been a little bit behind. But we're back. We're back now. Say hi, Evan.
Hi, Evan.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, we're corrupted.
Yeah.
We've been corrupted.
What are we here today with, Evan?
It's post-punk.
Mm-hmm. It's not pre-punk, it's not mid-punk, it's post-punk. And we'll waste no time getting into our first pick, Bo Ninja, and their album Rebuilt. And this first track is 4 Seconds to Ascension. It's really funny. I think we've only ever maybe done this. We've done this time. But I think we've only ever maybe done it one other time where it's like we've done an entire list and then something fucked up happened and we had to do the exact same list again. But this was actually like long enough ago that I don't remember these picks at all. So,
yeah, indeed.
It's very interesting.
I'm sitting here with fresh ears.
Yeah. I don't like it. Let's turn it off. I'm just kidding. It's good. It's good. I do like it.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, it's still not like. I don't know if it's still ringing a bell, but it's
your fucking bell.
Yeah. Sounds fresh.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm into it. It's lively, fresh, lively. You know, I take my post punk on the livelier side, anyways.
I take mine on an English muffin with hollandaise.
Yeah, I like it on that. Started off with some energy. Yeah. I tend not to gravitate towards like the Joy Division or Bauhaus side of things. You know,
it's the slower, gothier.
That's
shit.
The slower, atmospheric stuff, and it's great. I like it. And I like the influence that stuff takes from like dub music. You know, that's great. It's kind of rolls through your body like a fucking parasite, and that's cool. Yeah. But I like to go for lively stuff.
It's fascinating because like when I think of like Joy Division, I think of like the older, like alternative kind of goth scene bands. I think of like, the Smiths, for one, which is funny because like I wouldn't hear the Smiths and say like, yeah, they're totally punk / but no, not at all. But I think it's kind of derived from punk, obviously post-punk is, and then kind of that more emotional music like the Smiths and the Cure.
Yeah, no, indeed. I think the Cure, are like a fine example. I mean, they're one of those bands that kind of went all over the place and had an illustrious career as far as different ways to use their brand of goth rock music, and they've gone to a lot of different places. But
there was a fucking minute where the only thing I knew about the Cure was the song "Friday I'm in Love," and I'm like, the fuck is the appeal of this? Yeah. I don't get this shit.
Then you find out that Robert Smith hated that song even when it was written. Only written for the sake of the fucking record label. So.
You know what's fascinating, like in that exact same vein? And it's interesting because I'm sure I've admitted several times that I'm a big fan of pop music at large. I mean, not all of it, but some. But one song that I know is ultra cliche that I actually do quite enjoy, I enjoy a lot more now that I know the meaning, is Love Song by Sarah Bareilles.
Yes.
Yeah. But funny enough, because that has a pretty misinterpreted meaning. A lot of people are like, yeah, man, she's like expressing her independence, you know, against potentially like toxic romantic partner, and that is not the case. I don't know if you knew this or not, but actually, who Miss Herbulis is writing about was her record label, who was saying, listen, if you want to fucking sell records, you need to be writing sappy radio love songs. You need to write something that'll sell. And she wrote that song as a big fuck you.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really cool.
It's like, yeah, like I've been a fucking absolute fanatic over the band XTC lately.
I've never listened to XTC.
Yeah, they're fucking brilliant. But because that's what they have been throughout their entire career, from like the late 70s through the sort of early 90s, is that they were like mostly a part of Virgin Records, and they were just like the record label were on their asses all the time for like, hey, you guys need to fucking do this and do this and do this, and you need to sell this many records, and we're not gonna fucking have it any other way. And Andy Partridge, the principal singer-songwriter, is like, okay, yeah, cool, I'm just gonna do my fucking thing though. And they just totally fucking buck the the record label's ideas, and it's awesome. What comes out is like commercial sounding albums, but like really experimental and fucking good, like, and unique, very unique. And so yeah, that's what I've been going for lately. But
when you say commercial, could you qualify that? Because like I can think of albums that I hear that I'm like, yeah, well, like this or this, but I'm sure they're nowhere similar. So like I would think of like some of like Rush's like mid-career work, like Moving Pictures, for example. I think it's like, yeah, it's a pretty commercial sounding album, but it's really unique and extremely good. But it's also progressive rock.
Yeah.
So I don't know where, because like I said, I've never listened to XTC, so I'm not familiar.
Yeah, no, it's I think of it as like because there's two songwriters in the band, and so you have Andy Partridge, who's like the lead guy, and me. Now you have Colin Moulding, who's the bass player, and yeah, he also writes some of the songs, and they kind of go back and forth. They don't really write songs together, but they write songs alternately, and
it's like what you and I used to do.
Yeah, they kind of compete with each other to write better songs, and that's kind of cool. I like it. It's almost like a Beatles kind of situation, but yeah, their songs are really like 3.5 minute long pop idea, you know.
Didn't Tears for Fears kind of do that?
Yeah, no, Tears for Fears definitely. Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal, yeah, they're the same kind of thing.
Well, I know you hate Tears for Fears.
I hate Tears for Fears. No, I love them.
Love them. I know you.
But no, yeah. So XTC had this thing where it's like, yeah, they their songs, they sound like, you know, they have like a Beatles sensibility to them. They're British.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, it's
like
nice.
Verse,
like
chorus, verse, bridge. Where, you know, the kind of the whole 9 yards.
You can dance to it.
But like they experimented in the sense of like in 1982 they stopped touring entirely, and so like the Beatles did, they stopped fucking
socially experimental.
Yeah, and so they started playing around in the studio with all kinds of crazy fucking instruments and sound effects and production techniques, and actually XTC is credited with using. So they worked with the producer called Steve Lillywhite in 1979 on their album Drums and Wires, and they used
not to be mistaken with Stephen Lotus Black.
Yeah, well they used a technique called gated reverb.
Oh yeah.
On their drum sounds, and they did this like even before Phil Collins became fucking, like, you know, in 1980 when he put out Face Value or whatever. You know, and of course In the Air Tonight, you know, yeah, it became, everyone's like, oh, gated reverb, I want a piece of that. And so they did this just slightly before him. But then Peter Gabriel was like the guy who also sort of like at the same exact time, like 79. So, you know.
You know what's fascinating? I kind of want to wrap all this shit up and get back to the actual topic. Oh, but I know full well what gated reverb is, and I can describe it for anyone who thinks I'm a goddamn liar. But gated reverb being, like typically a very, very drenched atmospheric reverb that cuts off really abruptly.
Yeah.
Where do you think that term came from?
Gated?
Yeah, because I don't know where the term came from.
Well, it's like so what they did is they of course add shitloads of reverb, like you said, to a drum sound.
It's drenched.
And then they put a noise gate on it so that when it gets to a certain point.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just like instead of going
it
goes
and swelling out. Yeah. Yeah.
And so then you had these fucking drum sounds that are all like.
Also for people who are
fuck?
for people who are uninitiated, so maybe music enthusiasts but not production enthusiasts. In the world of music, when we say dry or wet, that is referring to how affected something is. Of course, I don't want to assume anyone listening doesn't know that. When I say it's just soaking, I'm referring to it is very deeply affected. So it's not a touch, not a pinch of reverb. It is a lot of fucking reverb.
And completely wet would be like not even a trace of the original signal. It's just if you think of a completely reverberated guitar sound, and it's just like a wispy little wind a mile away. It's And some people like to go crazy like that. I think I used to like that, but
it totally depends on what's happening.
It's a good mix, I like to have a good mix of down to earth and also a little bit out there. But so anyways, Bo Ning. I wish
I'm guessing
say that?
Ningen,Ningen for those who aren't looking.
I like it because it's pretty faithful to an OG kind of post-punk sound.
Definitely.
But it's got I think they are adding their own little flavor to it, So I don't want to start damning with faint praise, but yeah, me likey, indeed.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, no, I like it. It's not too. It's funny because I don't want to say it's not too experimental for post-punk music, because post-punk is actually pretty fucking experimental as a genre is concerned, which is funny because I wouldn't necessarily say that punk music was that much. And I know some people, all get on your angry keyboards. Punk was, it had its moment, and it was wild, it was crazy. But I wouldn't say it was that experimental. It was aggressive, but it was also pretty cut and dry. It was what it was.
Yeah.
And then, branched out into other things. We have grindcore, we have hardcore, we have post-punk, we have post-hardcore, all of those things.
Yeah.
But, just as what it was.
Well, I mean, you had John Lydon, who fucking started the Sex Pistols, Johnny Rotten, and he almost immediately got so fucking sick of the blandness of just every band that copied Sex Pistols and wanted it to sound like that. But he started Public Image Limited and started experimenting, and they're one of the most well-known post-punk bands, and they had a very unique sound. I don't know if it's my favorite flavor, but I definitely appreciate it. But they took punk and they really squeezed in some new flavors into it, injected.
Yeah.
What would you do?
They released, perhaps.
Did you release something?
I didn't.
Who did?
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I mean, and that's all I have to say about that. Oh, you motherfuck. Sorry, I'm getting a little pop-ups.
Yeah. Get that, Norton.
Well, I mean, it's my own computer.
Norton antivirus.
Being shite. Other than that, you got ready to move on to the next bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Bone Engine and Rebuilt. And people, we will see you back here momentarily. People, we're back with our second pick. This is Soft Kill, live at Crystal Ballroom. And the first track is From This Point On. Now, this band I remember a little more, and I remember probably a little more, if I'm being honest, because they're from Portland, Oregon, which is dangerously close to us. Close enough you can smell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember liking this one quite a bit. Evan, remember Soft Kill?
Gosh, I don't know if I remember. It's not just like the last band. It's not really not swimming back to me incredibly quickly.
I found actually oddly a lot of the bands that were like, fuck, I really like this, seem to come from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Like, you remember Tyler Burns from the oh Lord have mercy, the Synth Pop 2.
Yes.
There's another one. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. Did we do an episode on shoegaze? I feel like there was a shoegaze one. Well, I'm not gonna get on my phone and look it up, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's been at least a solid handful.
Yeah.
from Portland.
Something in the water, I think. Something in the water, man.
Yeah.
Little sea monkeys.
Little sea monkeys and critters. Anyways, while we gestate on this, and we were talking about post-punk at large.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, just the relative musical history around post-punk and punk and crunk and slam
hell
dunks and
Booty, 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 booty.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
What the hell was I gonna? Yeah. So I don't know. It's always fascinating to me, and I'm sure I've talked about this at least once on the podcast, but I'm such a literal fucking dorky person that when I hear a thing, I very much am rooted in the fact that it's words have meanings, And to me, when I hear post anything, so let's say postmodern, for example, when you hear the term postmodern, you say, well, what does that mean? It means literally exactly what you would think it means. It means after modern, which is funny because I think all in all, people would be like, well, modern means now. Well, sure, but postmodern was a term that was relative to the fucking 90s?
Oh yeah. Well, modernism. I guess if you're talking about art, fine art, then yeah, we're talking the 1920s and 30s.
Art, architecture.
You had romanticism in the mid 19th century, and then yeah. So they went to T.S. Eliot, and then all these fucking the modernist poets in the World War I era, and the Lost Generation, all that shit. But yeah, then postmodern was of course, Pomo. You think of the fucking Dada art and the Mona Lisa with the mustache and the urinal and shit. Yeah. So yeah, but postmodern was saying this is
Campbell soup can.
It just goes to it just goes to show that at the time, it was oh yeah, this is modernism, this is modern. It's now this shit is 100 years old. So, yeah.
But I think even architecturally, they're referring to. But yeah, I mean that's the thing is modern is relatively past. So even postmodern is kind of phasing out.
Oh yeah.
But I guess that's the funny thing is that post realistically is exactly God, what is the term I'm looking for? Not synonymous. It is the exact opposite of pre, in that pre is something that comes before, post is something that comes after. In the case of, I'm really fucking tired today. You're like, God damn it, what is wrong with Dan? Is he super high? No, I'm not actually. I'm really tired.
Gosh, dog it.
God. Fucking
we're having a bit of a heat spill out here. We're hot. We're boiling in fucking sweat over here. It's crazy.
Yeah. Evan's licking it off of me. It's pretty great. It's a nice thing. Yeah. Post typically comes as a prefix to say that it's something that came after the fact. But in a lot of cases, I find with music that doesn't necessarily seem to be true. Like, first and foremost, and I think we talked about this the first time we did this list, but we should probably review it again. We were talking about the idea as to whether punk is or is not dead.
Yeah.
But that is the thing, is like, for something technically to be post, so in this case, punk, that would mean that punk would have to be dead. Or at the very least, its heyday has to be over, which that is undoubtedly true.
But post-punk started the same time punk started. It was like a parallel track. Like,
right.
So, I know it's weird. It's curious to see, like, why that moniker, like, came to describe the punk music that was more about, like, emotion and what's the word? Like, inner, thinking about the inner world and introspection. And so yeah, it's like I don't know why. I don't know why post came to mean that in that context, but post to post rock is
and then I was gonna say, in that exact same way,
very different.
Post rock, post metal, things like that. Those are musical genres that are actually still very extant today. Like, if you were to say, like, but rock had its heyday, and it's like, no, rock is still very goddamn prevalent, at the very least, through alternative music. And metal is, I mean, fucking Christ, I'd say metal's more relevant than ever.
Yeah.
Some people may argue that, but in my personal opinion, I disagree. I think metal is now bigger than it ever has been.
Yeah, I think that could be true.
Yeah.
I don't like pay too much attention to, like, what's, like, super hot, but yeah, I think I get the sense that metal is
of course, the one
big.
that drives me fucking insane is when people say post-progressive.
Yeah.
Or post-prog.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, because, progressive is dead, and this is what came after the fact, but it's progressive.
Post-prog, that fucking phrase, like, it sounds just snooty. To me, it's so snooty because it's like, it's so unfashionable. If someone says, hey, so what kind of music does your band make? And you say, oh, prog, they go, prog, ew. Or or whatever. But if you say post-prog, like, oh, so that's like, it doesn't have the lame noodliness and the extravagances of progressive rock, but it has the sleek, cool, modern touch of alternative.
Yeah, it sounds snooty.
Yeah, I hate that idea that it's like,
I guess that's
term,
kind of tough, because to me, like, when you look at the people that say, oh, I'm post-progressive, to me, the more reasonable genre title has been progressive alternative, but then the thing is that people go, what the fuck does that mean? How can you be progressive and alternative, especially, like, by literal definition? But the thing is to me, it makes more sense than fucking post-progressive, because if you're looking at literal words, you're hybridizing progressive rock and alternative rock. Progressive alternative versus post-progressive, which is like, no, this was after doing progressive stuff, which is like, so it's what, regressive?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm fucking geeking out on words, and I'm sure I'm gonna get slam poetry down for being a fucking plebeian, but
I know. Yeah, I have a subtle, more than subtle fear that half the shit the utterances that come out of my little mouth hole, like, that people are gonna take umbrage with and go, oh, you're not very smart, are you?
I'd like to see an utter come out of your mouth hole.
Ooh. We're gonna take a little bit of a break. So.
Yeah.
Post-progressive, post-rock, post all this and that. Post-rock, I feel like that's like the only one. I mean, this is just my intuition. I don't know where that actually came from, but I think that, like, post rock started becoming a thing in like the early 90s, in like the mid 90s. So like Slint, I think technically people are like, oh yeah, Slint started post rock.
I would absolutely say Slint is post rock.
But Slint is like so like they have one song from Spiderland that was like a post rock song. The rest of the songs are just
typically qualify it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but then like you had the Tortoise and then like Terra Mellos or whatever. I guess that's more math rock, but yeah,
Terra Mellos, yeah, for sure.
But you have yeah, Mogwai, of course. Yeah, big one.
God is an astronaut.
Yeah, Godspeed You Black Emperor. There you go.
Godspeed You Black Emperor.
So yeah, you have like
fuck yeah, Godspeed You Black Emperor.
So it's like I think the way that came to be was that like
there's so much post rock.
I think these bands were looking at the state of rock music and going, shit, what the fuck else are we gonna do with rock music? It's been like shoegaze just happened. That was like rock went supernova. So what else are we gonna do with it? We're gonna make post rock. This is rock after it's been like dead, but like it came back from the grave, and now it's like reborn as this big atmospheric thing. And so, my intuition tells me that's where that comes from. I have no idea.
Probably. Post metal is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
with fucking higher gain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just turn up or add a couple of fucking distortion pedals. Yeah. But
Pelican being a great example.
Yeah.
Man, Pelican was pretty good.
Pelican was in my mind for some reason not that long ago.
Because you like birds.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, I do like birds. Yeah.
You sure do like birds.
I do like them.
Oh, that BT band shows on a Sunday, by the way.
Guess my favorite bird.
I mean, I would guess chicken.
You know, I wasn't expecting any guesses so soon because I actually had to think about that for a little bit. I think an albatross.
Albatross are cool.
They're cool people. I've met a couple and they're very nice. No, I've never seen an albatross.
I was going to say, no, you haven't.
But I like that one, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. So, and albatross plays pretty big in that. Mm-hmm. And I like the song by what you call it. Never mind, I'm getting off track.
There's a Pink Floyd song that refers to.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're talking about Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. Overhead, the albatross hangs motionless upon the air. Echoes, yeah.
Off of Metal.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that your favorite Pink Floyd?
My favorite Pink Floyd, yeah. I don't.
Great album.
I do not go for Pink Floyd. They don't really wet my whistle.
That's very different than most of their albums.
Yeah, but I find Echoes and Metal at large to be just fucking brilliant. But yes. So anyhow,
I quite liked Animals.
All that. Yeah, you know, I bought a but
you have it on vinyl.
I had it on vinyl years ago. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I listened to it a couple of times and you know, I learned kind of the hard way that Pink Floyd like isn't what I go for, because what they're about is like, I don't want to say it in like a mean or disparaging way, but I think so much of their sound is like David Gilmour's chops and his like cool bendy solos, and I'm like, when I want like prog, I want like, I don't know, I like the extravagance, but I also like
you sure do.
I like King Crimson. So yeah, King Crimson to me is the ultimate.
Hang on a minute.
Ultimate.
You like King Crimson?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of town.
Get the hell. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Get out of my bed.
I would say Lark's Tongue and Aspic, and Starless and Bible Black, hands down, best. But you know,
you used to really like Lizard a lot.
I love Lizard, but they were in such a transitional phase at that point. And I like that. Yeah, that with Lark's Tongue and Aspic and Starless and Bible Black and then Red, they really settled on Bill Bruford, John Wetton, and just Fripp. So they had this like a little trio, just like fucking Rush. So you know, that shit was cool. Yes.
Did you ever listen to that Crimson Project?
Oh gosh, no, I don't think I did.
I can't remember who the hell was in the Crimson Project. That's gonna drive me nuts, though.
All I remember is that it was spelt weird. It was spelt Project, but with a K. Yeah.
Okay, now fuck, I'm looking shit up.
Oh yeah, well, I guess no.
Oh, it's KCT.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's like when I like my prog to not be so like focused on just someone's chops.
This is Tony Levin.
Oh yeah, yep. So Oh yeah, because I mean Tony Levin played with them back in the '80s when they sort of.
Adrian Blue, Tony Levin,
Ooh.
Pat Mescalato, Marcus Reuter, Tobias Ralph, Julie Slick.
Neat.
Apparently Gavin Harrison plays with King Crimson now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, them's good people. So Evan.
If there would be anyone to take over Bill Bruford, then yeah, Gavin Harrison.
Evan.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that punk is dead. What do you say it is? We've talked about this before.
I think that, I don't like saying controversial stuff, but I can say.
Come
punk
on
is dead.
now.
I think that in my opinion,
give me that tasty
punk is
flavor.
dead. I would say punk is dead.
So I think it depends on. It's funny. The last time we had this conversation, it was much more drawn out. But
I don't like to rock the boat, but yeah, punk is dead.
I think it depends on what way you want to come at that statement. Do you want to come at it from a musical genre stance or punk as an idea? Which fits.
Well, I mean, of course, musical genre.
Fucking
Big time.
interruption.
I mean,
Well, but here's the thing, right? The musical genre is based on the political punk movement. So, I mean, they were symbiotic, realistically. So, if you look at it as like, does the roots, does the inspiration, does the politicism of punk still live today? I would say absolutely yes.
yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, big time.
Unequivocally.
I mean, punk and DIY culture. Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
it's just
sure.
all married with each other.
Sure.
I think punk is one of those phenomena that I think is really cool because it's like you don't have to buy a fucking membership to it. You can just say you're a punk. Like I could say I'm a punk. I don't look anything like a punk, but I can say I'm a punk and be a punk. So that's cool.
And that's the thing. If somebody's like, "You're not very punk," you go, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I know better than you.
And I mean,
piece of shit.
If we're gonna talk about meanings of words and etymologies and stuff, so punk comes from the Greek
I didn't know this.
for beginner. It means beginner or amateur or someone
I did
who's
not know that.
or dilettante or whatever. And so
So to finish,
well,
as a genre, I would agree. I think punk music is dead.
yeah.
I mean, there's still people doing it, and that's cool. And I'm glad that punk as an idea is still alive. But like, it's pretty much it's just a smoldering ash.
So maybe I'm just not very creative, but I think of like innovation happening in rock music at large, and that's iffy to say. But punk music is just like, yeah. I mean, what else can you innovate that hasn't been done yet?
And of course, I should pause it too, really quick. This is very, very important because we're talking about a related genre. When I say punk, I do not mean any of its children or siblings.
Yeah, no.
I mean straight punk, not post-punk, not hardcore. Those are very, very, very different conversations.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I was watching like the wife had a Jimmy Kimmel clip on, and he had some like some band somewhere and they were like a little sort of riot girl punk outfit, all like teenage girls, and I try not to be so cynical or down on anyone, but it's just,
you fucking liar.
It's
he says while the fucking mics are warm.
Well, yeah, but I'm just like, they play their song, and it's like, it's like there's these sweet little innocent girls, and they're playing, rah, 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 and smashing their guitars, and it doesn't, like, I don't know. I guess if it's inspiring to people, that's great and all, but I see it as like vaudeville at this point. It's just kind of like you're wearing Punk's dead corpse, like. But hey, if that's what they need to like start a career in music, and they can start to innovate.
But
on
then
top
here's
of
the
that,
question, and I say this not to ruffle any feathers, right? But if you were to set out to make punk music in 2021, are you probably gonna make money? I don't think you're gonna make money. And again, I say that explicitly about just punk, not post-punk, not hardcore, because I know somebody's gonna be like, there are so many fucking punk bands, and then I'll be like, yeah, that's crust punk, dog, not punk, or this, that, or whatever. That's why I think it's very, very important to fucking distinguish, cross my T's and dot my I's.
Yeah.
Because that's explicitly what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that people who don't make punk music today, and I'm not saying it's not good.
I mean,
But
you know.
what I am saying
Yeah.
is that, you know, shit exists in tattoo parlors and nowhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
I think it's about time to move on, Evan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I feel bad I didn't really talk about the music at all, but
Yeah,
it's,
well, hey, but now you have time to reflect. You've listened to it. What do you think?
some fine work. It is. It sounds really good. Again, I think it sounds really
I would even
faithful.
say it's quite refined.
Yeah, it sounds very very faithful again to like a particular sound, a place and a time, and it evokes it quite well. I hope that isn't damning or faint praise. I hope that isn't taken as an insult.
Yeah. No, I mean I quite like it. It's well, I mean I think that's maybe somewhat of the only real unfortunate side to it, and I don't say this to say that it's unfortunate about the music, but it's kind of easy to zone out to. And that's great in its own way, but in the same way we were able to talk for, I don't know, 400 fucking years and go, oh yeah, we haven't talked about the band.
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't do that terribly often either, but
Yeah, I feel like this would work really well at that goth bar we went to in
fuck yeah.
Portland, Oregon.
yeah, Lovecraft's,
Lovecraft's.
where
Yeah.
Evan got his first rim job.
Oh man, it was really dirty,
Really corny.
really corny.
Yeah. Not fun for all participants.
Nah.
Yeah. Hey, anyways, back in a second, people. Good thing you flossed afterwards. People. The fuck was that?
Oh shit! I'm not gonna get fucking murdered again, please. I can't fucking
I don't
get
think
murdered
so, but it
again.
did sound like the apocalypse was happening outside. Well, I guess we'd better start this fucking pick before we get murdered. This is Printhead, happy and hardcore pop, and you know, the first track, it's called Repeat. So now we're listening to this, and just like hiding under the fucking sheets from a monster, now the fucking bad sounds can't get me.
No, I can go for this, man. I like this shit. This is like, I guess I'm just a sucker for lo-fi. I love the recorded with a toaster kind of sound.
You know what I really want to? You know what I really want to say, and this is important. So shut the fuck up for a second. Love you. I am kind of worried about playing this one, and it's not because I don't like it. I like it a lot. However, I am noticing that our pick is from Spain, which is really cool, actually, in every sense, except every time we post a fucking Spanish, by Spanish, I mean from Spain, artist on our show, the episode gets taken down by YouTube.
Ooh. Well, we'll see, I guess, right?
It's happened 2 or 3 times, at least twice. So, if that doesn't happen this time, thank you, Printhead, and fuck you, YouTube. And hopefully everyone's hearing this, and they can join me by raising a middle finger in solidarity, because it is fucking dumb, and I hate it. And it's funny, too, because we have never once tried to monetize this podcast, nor will we ever. It'd be cool if we did, like, shit with, like, Patreon eventually, but, of course, that's completely up to the discretion of the viewers as to whether they think that we should fucking make anything. There would be, no ads unless we had sponsorships, and again, then that's controlled by us, not by YouTube. This shit will never, ever be fucking monetizable, because we're reviewing other people's stuff, and we knew that going into it. But at the same time, why come you got to take down for?
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
That's funky. Well, I hope this survives like we do. We don't get fucking murdered, you know?
I don't want to get murdered again.
Nevertheless, assuming this episode survives all the hardships and the tumultuous things and storms.
Tumultuous thing. You can buy this band's entire discography of 15 releases for €15.
That's sweet. Now, they had something sold out at the bottom. I wonder what that was. Was that like some kind of physical media?
So there's a cassette that was sold out.
Oh, neat.
Cassette.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like cassette really fits the punk aesthetic big time.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I have a tape deck, but it's not something that I really enjoy using.
You know that's fascinating, right? Because like I feel like CDs really speak to the rock world a lot, and I'll just say rock and metal, where it's like, yeah, buy my shit, but it's also not like super duper in your face. And I would say vinyl is much more of the like refined, like progressive, like we make high fidelity music, sir. But cassette is very, very much in the DIY punk.
Yeah, and the thing is, cassettes sound great. If you have a good tape deck, they sound fucking awesome. And they have a very
5 plays.
Yeah, they have a very characteristic sound. They have a very unique sound.
Ooh, shut up! I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this to me. I mean, I like this. This is my pick of the week.
I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
No,
after, like,
well, you
5
didn't get
years
the
ago.
fucking memo.
So
Just didn't get the memo, man. I like the
this fucking album, just this album, by the way, €2.
oh,
If you're like, yeah, man, I want to buy this shit and spin it home, you can for next to nothing.
yeah.
How many tracks are on this bitch? 25.
I guess they remind me like I guess an only comparable modern band I guess would be like Arcade Chords, which I'm not like a too much of a fan of that band, but it's definitely got like that modern lo-fi sound, but it sounds like it's they're really I think adequately evoking the late 70s. And yeah, we got that the nice old school I think punk in the true sense of the term, as in like so punk came to prominence at a time where the average Joe couldn't record a fucking album. You had to go to a record, you had to be an act, get noticed by a record label, and they would pay for you to go to a studio and publish a shitload of records to be made. And so the DIY community comes around, and of course tape decks in the 80s become a thing, and you could record your music that way, multi-track recorders, and this kind of sound is born. I like it. I'm such a fan of just dirty, chuggy, garage sounding, nasty lo-fi.
Fuck yeah!
Set stuff.
Sorry, I'm literally falling asleep over here.
Yeah.
I worked fucking like 9 hours to come home, set up, record. Fucking Christ on a bike.
Yeah.
Tired as shit.
Yeah, man. Feel it.
Alright, Grim.
I'm as tired as a green snake in a sugarcane field.
Yeah, okay. Where the fuck that's supposed to be.
Fucking.
I'm as tired as a tire.
That is.
Like on a car.
Why didn't you fucking say that before? What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't even think you are here. I think you've been an illusion this whole time.
Like that, some Twilight Zone shit.
An auditory hallucination. People have actually just been listening to me, thinking that you were here.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, I got a microphone in my brain.
Where Chris Nolan at?
I don't know. What did Chris Nolan even work on other than the fucking Dark Knight series?
Inception. He did.
That's right.
Did that magician one? I can't remember the name.
Don't fucking bring that up. That one out there really likes that movie. I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, the magician one.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson. That's what you're talking about, right?
Did it have? Were they in it? I'm talking about the Prestige, I think.
Oh,
The Prestige is one where Christian Bale was like
I haven't seen that.
I don't know if he was Houdini, but he like played like a magician like Houdini.
Yeah, no, that movie actually. You know what's a really good movie?
What was a good movie?
Jaws. No, I was going to
Next.
say The Machinist.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was fucked. Yeah, that was pretty.
Really good.
It's pretty rough to get through. Yeah, it's pretty traumatic.
Speaking of rough movies, you know what I made Chelsea watch for the first time recently? The Ring.
Oh God, Johnny Knoxville? Are
Yeah.
you shitting me?
No,
oh
I'm very
God,
serious.
no fucking puke.
Which is funny because
I
there's
saw
a
that
line,
shit when it came out.
There's a line in that movie, which is what made me think of
Oh
this.
my lantern! Oh God, kill me.
Jesus
Kill me.
Christ, Evan. But there's a line in that movie where it's not what I like that. What the fuck was I saying? He one of the guys goes, "You think that's impressive, Steve? Name any movie." He goes, "Okay, Jaws." He goes, "That was a good movie." Like it's supposed to be impressive. Like,
Yeah,
he knows
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot about the movie. He goes, "Yeah, that was a good one."
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Jaws. You know, I've never
think
been able to
Jaws is
see
good.
the appeal. I
It's
guess
just
like,
fucking corny.
I can understand that it's a movie for a place and a time, and I think at the time the special effects were so fucking realistic that it just scared the shit out of people.
Dude, yeah, but the thing is I think it's like any fucking movie of that time, really, like, and granted, when I say that time, I'm being very fucking vague. So, like, when you think of, like, The Evil Dead or Jaws or fucking, oh my god, First Blood or whatever, like, any fucking big, edgy movie, they weren't really scary as much as they were just super fucking cheeseball. And granted, I know some people will be like, I don't know, man, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, I might rock the boat a little bit here. I'm gonna rock the boat. You know, I know for a fact I'm gonna be assassinated for this, but
That's what I was gonna ask. No, it's fine.
I've never liked Jurassic Park. I always thought Jurassic Park.
I actually don't either.
Oh fuck, Jesus Christ!
No,
that's-
I know.
I've always found it
actually
like
don't either.
I just see it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why do people like look at this and see like it's pure magic? Like it's just.
No, I don't get it.
I see Jeff Goldblum. I find him like so annoying. All the other actors, I find just.
You know,
like,
I really wish that I liked Jeff Goldblum for like the longest time, but I was like, yeah, there's just something about him, and then I realized what it was, and it's severe narcissism. It's like if you've ever watched him do an interview ever, he'll be like, "Oh yes, this reminds me of the one time I was with someone and I was doing this thing, and they said to me like, oh, you are so fucking smart and creative and interesting." It's fucking obnoxious and terrible.
I know, you know. But
some of his acting is okay, but fuck.
But I mean, I hear
Christ.
people talk about Jurassic Park who like saw it when it came out, and they're like, "Oh my god, the way the dinosaurs move and they jump through the screen, and it's just so terrifying."
That's cool.
I
I
was just
guess,
like, it was
but-
so amazing. It's so realistic, and I see it. I'm like, it looks so fucking fake. I don't get it. I guess I just don't understand. It's one of
I
those
just think
things.
it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
one
dumb.
of those things that, like, when I watch it, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this?
I know. Yeah, I just
And it's
think
also
dumb.
like, so I have a really bad tendency of watching movies and seeing a lot of plot shields in a movie, and typically I kind of rate a movie, I mean, granted, on how much I enjoy it, but also on how many plot shields I was able to spot out. And if it's like I'm pointing them out constantly as I'm watching it, that's not a very good fucking movie. And Jurassic Park is definitely one of those fucking movies where it's
No.
like, oh man, yeah, that guy got ate by that dinosaur because he saw a spider on the ground and he screamed, and then the dinosaur heard that and then ate him. And it's like, who the fuck would see a dinosaur, hide from it, be successfully hiding, and then go, that spider's pretty fucking scary, though. Like, shit, and granted, I know somebody's gonna be like, that never happened in those movies. I understand, but it's shit like that.
Yeah. It's like I almost feel like the same reason people hated Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It was fucking dumb.
You know, and I'm embarrassed to admit. I'm embarrassed to admit. I liked that movie when it came out. I did like it.
I remember.
But yeah, it took me a couple of years to really snap out of my fucking delusion. Yeah, it's that movie is an epic piece of shit.
But
Total turd.
I would also posit that all of the Indiana Jones movies are extremely corny, but they're fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
they're
don't
good
like Jurassic
Cold War era escapism.
Yeah. I think Jurassic Park is corny. That's not the reason I don't like it, but it is corny as shit. What the fuck was I gonna say? Coming back, Narcos, not Evil Dead. You know what movie was made back in that time? I don't think was all that corny. It was extremely good.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Probably, yeah. Rocky. Yeah.
Great fucking movie.
Yeah, you know, I've never seen Rocky, actually.
Are you serious? You should change it.
Yeah. It's my mom's favorite movie. That's all I know about it.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was probably like, probably in her early 20s, and she saw it, and she's probably like, oh, wow.
Well, I mean, a lot of people wanted to fuck Sylvester Stallone, too. And the big thing is like, this movie not only has him as like a badass, but it's like, oh, he's also like really sensitive, too. He's got problems and shit, you know? And it's like, yeah, all right. But, I mean, I would say this, like, Rocky 1 is a masterpiece. It's a phenomenal movie. Rocky 2 is pretty good, and I recommend you watch it if you watched Rocky 1, and you're like, yeah, I quite like that movie. 3 onward, take it or leave it.
Oh, it's like the Rambo sequel, so fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So awful. Like, so, that's such cash grabs, like, so plain and simple.
Well, and that's kind of how the fucking Rocky sequels, like, after 2 went, but there's redeemable qualities to them, but yeah, I don't know. 3 is good. 4 is actually really fun, but it's super fucking like phoned in. And then 5 is just like, why am I still fucking watching this?
Yeah, holy fucking crap. And they did what, like Creed pretty recently?
Well, they did Rocky Balboa back in like the mid-10s. And then, yeah, they did Creed, and now Creed 2.
Jesus.
But Creed was the son of...
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's about a different fella.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much away because you haven't seen the original fucking Rocky. But yes, Apollo Creed is someone from the original Rocky. It's a great fucking... I strongly recommend you watch Rocky 1. If you watch it, you're like, that's not for me. Fuck, don't watch the rest. But it's a good movie. It's one I think you should have in your repertoire.
You know, Rocky Road ice cream is...
I like Rocky Road.
Is okay. It's okay. Cookie dough, I think, is the supreme form of ice cream.
Oh, fuck off. I'll tell you it's the best.
What's that?
In America, you aren't ready for this, truly. You think you are, but you're not. The best ice cream. Hands down, on God. It's Cherry Garcia.
It's pretty darn good.
Look, you got vanilla ice cream, which I know a lot of people like. Fucking vanilla.
Vanilla's good.
Chill
Vanilla's
out.
delicious. I love it.
Good vanilla is really good, but it's made a lot better by what you put in it. You get dark chocolate chunks. All right, everybody, come on, dark chocolate. It's better than milk chocolate. It's better than white chocolate. And fucking dark cherries. Mic drop.
Truckin'. Of course, I'm just trying to make any kind of Grateful Dead references I know, and I don't really know much.
I hate the Grateful Dead.
I know.
Yeah. What the hell is happening? Are we still musicking?
I don't know if we're still musicking.
That couldn't have been the end of the album, was it? No. Okay. Come on now. Well, I was going to say, I think it's about time to wrap up Dangle anyways, but like, that was weird.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, people, we've had a lot of fun. I'm fucking seeing Z's and little blue birds circling around my eye holes. So I think it's dangle about time for me to dangle and fucking dangle. You know what I mean, man?
Oh yeah.
So let's see. 3 empty platitudes to take out on thing. If you're that concerned about the environment, your environmental impact from drinking non-BPA free bottles of water, just eat the fucking plastic. Duh, why didn't you think of that? Yes, analog music, maybe making a comeback, maybe here to stay, but analog video sure as shit isn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
let's be real. We're not bringing the fucking VCRs back. You might, to watch your fucking copy of Rugrats in Paris, but other than that, if you really want it, I don't think you do. Okay? Although I do think a lot of people film on analog and then just convert it to digital.
Hey, you know, I had the Majin Buu series on VHS.
Yeah, right. And the third one to take today out on is Evan is going to watch Rocky by the next time we do this again. So, yay!
Might just read the back of the book.
I bet there is a book.
Yeah, most likely.
I don't think the book's probably quite as exciting, but I bet it's still good.
Probably.
Do you have anything you want to say to people?
Oh, shit. I'm going to recommend that no one try self-immolation without...
Auto-da-fe?
With what now?
Auto-da-fe?
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 What is auto-da-fe?
Self-immolation.
This is a different way to say it?
Yeah.
Well, I recommend no one try it unless they're going to take their whole family with them. So, you know.
Fair? Yeah. Well, actually, you know, if you're going to commit auto-da-fe, might I recommend this, that you get your family near lethally intoxicated so that when you let yourself on fire around them, they blow up like fun fireworks.
Yes, thank you. Someone finally preaching some fucking truth.
Like people sploders. And don't smoke meth. Goodbye, everybody. Maybe forever.
Peace.